that now? Yes, I will. Alrighty, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to kick off in 1 minute. Okay, so we'll kick off at 3:30 on the dot, and we're here to talk about Microsoft Teams, assessment and feedback, and OneNote, all in one night. Nice, neat little package. Jeff, going to send you live for a second. Say hello, just while I'm prepping.
Hey, afternoon for this very quick half an hour snippet, half an hour of power about assessment and feedback with Microsoft. So stay tuned, won't be too long.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be good. It's always empowering to learn how you can use Microsoft Teams and OneNote, especially in the classroom environment, to the best of its ability. So we will kick off at 3:30. I'll just wait 60 more seconds just so we can get those attendees. I can see them coming in now. Again, it's going to be half an hour, so we're going to try and keep this nice and quick and concise. It will go very fast, but it will be recorded. Okay. The idea basically is to show you how you can use these tools in a classroom context, rather than showing you the nitty-gritty of step-by-step on setting them up. It's about creating awareness, getting you inspired, and then you can reach out, or we can give you further information on how to set them up, detail to detail. But more or less today is all about showing you what is possible with some of these amazing tools. So I'm going to get started, Mr. Jeffrey Childs, and we'll do some quick introductions solely because I know that we don't have a lot of time. Not at all. It's only half an hour. So we're going to get started into our event. So let's do it. Basically, what I'm going to do real quick is share my desktop real quick. And basically, you're going to see a PowerPoint. We're going to quickly do some introductions and housekeeping, and then we're going to jump into exactly what we're going to be presenting today. So let's jump into it and get started. So welcome to the Microsoft Improving Assessment and Feedback with Teams and OneNote. Really excited to be hosting this with you today, Mr. Jeff Childs. If you do want to chat with us during the session, there's a lovely Q&A on the right-hand side of the page. So a little symbol at the top there, and just ask a question. Maybe say hi, where you're from. Ask a question if there's anything that you want to know as we move forward in showing you how you can use Microsoft Teams and OneNote for assessment and feedback. Now, also to note that this recording will be recorded. Okay, we'll put a link near the end on where you can find the recording, so you can go back in time and watch this at your own pace. There also is about a 30-second to 1 minute delay between what you see and what we're presenting, so there may be a slight delay in us returning those questions to you if you are asking any. So my name's Andrew Bowser, and this is the lovely Jeffrey Childs. You'll see his lovely face on screen as we go through. And we'll put our contact details up into the chat near the end when we do a little bit of Q&A. So what I'm going to quickly do, we've got a lovely Welcome to Country video coming up. So what I'm going to do is quickly include my audio, and we'll have a quick watch of that.
We acknowledge the first Australians as the traditional custodians of the continent, whose culture is the oldest living culture in human history. We pay our respects to elders, past, present and emerging, and we respect their cultural heritage, beliefs and relationship with the land. We extend our respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. They share the memories, traditions and hopes of the traditional ancestors with the new generations today and in the future. We would also like to thank them for looking after this land for thousands of years.
Lovely Welcome to Country video. Big fan of that one. Absolutely inspiring. Okay, let's quickly look at the agenda. We're doing the introduction, acknowledge the country we've just done, and the focus of the session is assessment and feedback with Teams and OneNote. Now we're going to do a live demonstration, so it's going to take about 20 minutes, okay? So we're only here until 4 o'clock today, and then we'll have a look at resources and feedback. Jeff, I'm just going to quickly send you live so you can say hello to everyone. I'll keep my slides up there, but I'll just put you on the side. Now, if you have any questions, do reach out to Jeff. He'll be looking after the Q&A, and when Jeff's presenting and talking, I'll be looking after the Q&A today. Jeff's going to take the role of student, aren't you, Jeff?
Yeah, looking forward to going back to school, only for half an hour though. That's as much as I can handle, but yeah, hopefully I'll take it on. My daughter is at school as well, so we'll be submitting some of her assignments. So we'll see how that works.
Very handy. We have a special account. Jeff, I just want to put this out there. Jeff's daughter actually did the assignments, but Jeff's going to be using a demo account just so he can demonstrate what it looks like from a student perspective when they're logging in, so you can see the full suite of application there. So that brings us to our lovely live demonstration coming up now. I'm going to get rid of our lovely face right here just so you can maximize the viewing pleasure of Microsoft Teams. We're going to start off with Microsoft Teams. We're going to show you how to get to Microsoft Teams, basically how to set up an assignment, a rubric, and how to distribute that into a OneNote as well. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to disappear and we will see our smiling faces very soon. Okay, so like any other application, you start off with a basic web browser, right? So there's nothing on the screen. Let's just assuming that you're walking into the classroom and you want to prep your assignment for your students. The easiest way to get to Microsoft Teams to start setting up an assignment is through your staff portal, okay? So just log in with your credentials, and once you're within your staff portal, it's got to wait for that to load. You're going to see a lovely little section. I'm going to zoom in because I know it can be quite hard to see. So I'm just going to make everything just a little bit bigger. And on the left-hand side here, you've got a section called My Learning Tools, okay? Click on that section and you have a lovely little section called Microsoft Office 365, okay? This is basically where you're going to access a lot of your Office 365 suite. So just make sure that you're logged in, and this application is going to be the same for a student as well. So on their student portal, they're going to see Office 365, which if we get time near the end, I'll get Jeff to show you just so you can see what's going on there. And you can see at the top here, we have all of our Office applications. Now, we want to go into Microsoft Teams, okay? Because I'm showing you what it's like from a teacher's perspective. All right, so we're setting this up for the very first time, okay? I'm going to do this on the web today, and it's going to ask me to sign in. Now, you sign in using your DET credentials, okay? So for me, it's going to be at Andrew Bowser, 1 at det.nsw.edu.au, and you can check to make sure that you signed in just at the top here, okay? So I can see there's, let me zoom in a little bit more for you. There's Andrew Bowser at the top there, okay? So what it does by default takes us to this lovely assignments tab that you can see on the left-hand side here, all right? And basically what that will do is want me to pick a class to start looking at my assignments. But let's just say that, you know, you've been using Google Classroom and you want to explore what Microsoft Teams has to offer. The first thing I generally do is click on Teams over the left-hand side here. Now, you might see it like this. You might not be a part of any teams, okay? It might be very blank for you. But the first thing I would do is create a brand new team, okay? So I would click Create a New Team, and this is going to be a class team, okay? So we're going to make a brand new team for our class. I want to run a lot of my subjects through a class team, very similar to Google Classroom in that respect. So I'm going to call this Assessment and Feedback, okay, Demo, all right? And this is the 28th of the 7th. Click Next. Now I'm going to add Jeffrey Childs to this lovely class as a co-teacher because Jeffrey's going to be working with me. And as for our student account, I'm just going to add student 9068 just so you can see what it looks like from a student's perspective. So I'm going to add that student. Now you might be asking, how do I add my students? Very easy to do. You can type their emails in manually, or you can give them a join code. Now, if you are interested in that process, we have plenty of videos that were recorded in the past that we can direct you to, but we're just solely going to focus on the assessment and feedback aspects of Microsoft Teams here. So if you haven't used Microsoft Teams, it's actually quite friendly and quite easy to use. So this is our main navigation point. Now, up the top, there's two things that I'm interested in for assessment and for feedback, okay? One of them is this class notebook tab. Okay, and that's created every time you make a class team. So I click on that. That's going to have Microsoft Teams built into, Microsoft OneNote built into Microsoft Teams. Just going to put this on Do Not Disturb so I don't get any more pop-ups. And I want to set up my class notebook. So if you've used Microsoft Notebook before, OneNote, it's the same product but built into Microsoft Teams. So rather than creating a class notebook and then creating a class team, we can make this all in one product. So I'm going to click on Set Up a New Notebook. Now it's asking, should I set up a blank notebook or do I have a notebook I've already made in the past that I want to bring on over? So I'm going to set up a new blank one right here. It's going to show me what I will get in my assessment and feedback demo notebook. Okay, that looks all fine. And I can add some sections here. So I want to add a section for assignments. I want to add a section for chit chat. And I want to add a section for ideas. Okay, let's make it big ideas. Now, these sections will go out to every student and they will only be able to see their own notebook. But as a teacher, I will be able to see all of their notebooks. Okay, so I'm going to create that right there. Now, this does take a few minutes to get created. It'll take 5 or 10 minutes or so, depending on how fast your internet connection is. So that's getting our class notebook ready. All right. So when you're looking for your class notebook, now there's a number of different ways you can do this. Okay. The easiest way again is to go via the portal. Okay. I'll just go home so you see what I'm talking about. Here's the portal. My Learning Tools on the left-hand side, and then go to Office 365, okay? And you'll notice we went to Microsoft Teams, this one right here. However, let's just say we want to manage our class notebook. We could do that in Microsoft Teams, but if you're not feeling comfortable with Microsoft Teams at this very moment, we can go over to Class Notebook, all right, and hit that one there, okay? Now, this will show you all the notebooks you've created from OneNote and from within Teams. So if I click on Manage Notebooks, you're going to see a list of notebooks that I have made, okay? So here, for example, the words Teams, I know it looks very small, but right there, it's got the word Teams next to it. Let me zoom in there for you, okay? That means that one notebook was made within Teams, all right? Now, the notebook that we just made, the demo one, hasn't been created yet, all right? So we actually made a team before to show you what that looks like. So I've got one here called T4L Assessment and Feedback Notebook. So I click on that, all right? It takes us to our student sections here, all right? So right here, we can add all sorts of dividers within our notebook for students. So, you know, this notebook, for example, has got class notes, it's got handouts, it's got homework, it's got quizzes. We can add more sections. So just like I did with that team I showed you, let's make a section called assignments. We have a collaboration space, okay? We can go through and add more things to that collaboration space. So let's just say, for example, I want to create group work, breakout rooms. So I could call this group 1, and I'm going to add student 9068 to that, create, okay? And I could go through and make these customized breakout groups, all right, to this notebook. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like from a teacher's perspective, and then we're going to jump over to Jeff and show you what it looks like from a student perspective. So I've just made our lovely notebook right here. Okay, and again, you know, I made it in Teams and I accessed it through the portal. All right, I've saved that. That's great. So now I could go back to our class notebook. Okay, and I can create a new one from here, or I can create a new one from Teams. I can manage one from here. I could manage it from Teams. Okay, so this is our OneNote class notebook. All right, now if I go back to our Microsoft Teams, I can see our notebook is ready to go. Okay, and we can put all sorts of cool stuff in here, all right? And what you'll notice, just here, we've got a teacher only section. We've got a content library section, so we can add all of our content in there. So it could be something on Earth and Space, it could be something on PowerPoint slides or something on videos that we're putting in there. But this is the important part. This right here is student 9068. These are all our student subsections that we could use to keep an eye on our students. Okay, so I could put all my quizzes in here. There's our big ideas. There's our class notes. There's our handouts. There's our homework. And then we can distribute the work all using Microsoft Teams and OneNote. So let's just say we have an assignment and I want to send that to all the students. I click on Class Notebook up here, and you can see some sections here. This says distribute page, so I can distribute a page to all my students, distribute a new section, copy to content library. There's lots of different stuff that we can do here. So what I might do, Jeff, I've just created a OneNote within my team. Okay, so we'll just back up a little bit within my team called assessment and feedback demo. All right, you saw me create that live.
Should I put my student hat on and
absolutely, absolutely. So I'm the teacher in this. Click on class notebook. We're going to show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. So how does a student get into Microsoft Teams? How does a student view their notebook and all the content within that notebook? So let's quickly throw it over to you, Mr. Charles, and I'll get you to share your screen, and we will have a look at how it looks like from a student, because OneNote is fantastic for setting up, distributing work, creating like I guess an e-portfolio or a folder of work that you can send all students at once. Now they can access that notebook using Microsoft Teams, or they can access that notebook by going to OneNote.com and logging in there. Most of the time you want to use the student portal because that's going to be their one point of entry. All right, throwing it over to you, Mr. Charles.
Let's go. So I guess as a student, and it would be they'd be using a T4L device, this would be their standard homepage. If not, we can just send them straight through to portal.staff.det.nsw.edu. But look, let's just go through the student motions. So student comes in and logs in through to the student portal. Now, they'll be asked the same as us to log in using their DOE account. And I've just got the student account that we use generically across the T4L. So it's kind of handy. It's good for us to use that. In we come into the portal, and this is the kid space. It has been redesigned, quite neat and clever, but nice and neat in front of us is what we need, Office 365. So we'll jump through to Office 365. And Andrew, I assume you are sending out an assignment as I speak. So just preparing myself for what may lay ahead when I come into the Teams. Now, obviously, Office 365 has the array of Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all the other tools that are available, as we know. But let's jump straight into Teams, only because we don't have a huge amount of time. Into Teams. Now, it always lands on the assignments page, and I think this is quite clever by Microsoft. Well, it should have landed on the assignment page. I have been here just before. You'll notice it's opened up already, but normally it actually lands on this assignments page. And one of the, I guess the questions were, where do we find all these assignments and how to make sure my students don't miss out on things? Well, it always lands here, which is kind of neat. Now, what we're looking for is today's team. And I know that the name of the team is something 2020, Andrew. Now, give me a quick heads up.
Yeah, because we just set that team up, it may be taking a second to boot. So if you use the assessment and feedback demo, that's it. Click that one right there.
So I'll go in through the teams that are available to this student. And of course, there's heaps there, but this is the one we're going to focus on. Now, it is just the same as you are aware. If you're a user of Teams and your students know about this, then this is quite straightforward and normal in terms of a team. Andrew hasn't set much up yet, but let's just go and click into the class notebook to have a little look and see what's been set up so far.
Absolutely. Now I'm just putting an assignment in there for you, Mr. Charles. I've just called you student 9068, but there's a number of different ways that we can do this. And I'm going to put a Word document in there and just attach it with a picture and kind of make it mine. So Jeff can see there as he clicks on that assignment, because he's a student, the assignment section is bold, which means there's new activity in there. Ooh.
Something's here. Hang on.
That's right. That's right. So I'm actually doing this live, and I can do this to every student at once, which is fantastic. So it's kind of like a live document that's forever changing. So I'm just going to put a pretty picture in there as well, Mr. Charles. I'm just looking for a great one that relates to the assignment.
What I might do is I'll have a little look. I'll go into this assignment. So obviously double click, and because I'm opening it through the web browser, it's going to download it for me. If it was a link, then it would link across to the open page. However, let's just have a little look at the space assignment that's been sent. A bit excited.
Now I've attached that as a file. So if a student's at home, they can download it. As Jeff was saying, I'm going to put a link in there as well, so Jeff might not have to download it if he chooses not to.
There you go. So Earth and space, I come in peace, and this is a small assignment I need to do. All right, so let's do that, and I'll just close this off actually to bring us back to the page.
And you can see I've just put a lovely photo in there to enhance your lovely enthusiasm for this assignment.
Bring it on. Brilliant. Brilliant. So that's been sent out now.
That's how easy it is. Honestly, that is how easy it is. You set up a OneNote notebook within Teams. You can control and oversee every student's notebook, yet students can only see their own notebook. Now, it's up to you in terms of what you want to send there. You can send units of work, you can send homework, you can set assignments and set permissions on who can see what. I know we're running out of time, so let's actually talk about the assignments feature, Mr. Charles, the dedicated assignments feature. Now, I haven't set an assignment up, so what I'm going to do is jump over.
I'll stop sharing my screen, and you set that up, and so you can push one out.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to set up an assignment and share my screen, okay? And then you'll see what it looks like from a student's perspective there as well. So we're basically looking at 2 ways today on how you can send assignments and get feedback and send feedback. The first one was OneNote. So we just demonstrated how easy it is with a few clicks to set up Microsoft OneNote through Teams. The next part, we're actually going to use the dedicated assignments feature and do something very similar, okay? And then we're going to show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. So we're going to jump back over to the lovely Microsoft Teams. And I'm going to share my screen right there so you can see what's going on. We're still in the team that we created. So you can still see here, assessment feedback up the top here. There's our posts. So I could tag my student and say incoming assignment. All right, I'll put a lovely GIF there, assignment. And what's on there? You go, incoming assignment. Lovely little GIF there. Nice jump. All right, I'm going to post that, go over to my class notebook. Now, I can use this, again, as a digital e-portfolio. I can check on all the work that my students have been doing. What have they been doing in chit-chat? How are they going in their quizzes? What are their big ideas? Or I could go up to this assignments section in Microsoft Teams, and we can create a brand new assignment, okay? Now, OneNote's great if you want to kind of make your own portfolio, right? If you want to kind of keep work. I actually did a whole term of using OneNote instead of using their book by booking the computers out. Now, we didn't have one-to-one devices. I had to kind of negotiate and book the computers out for every time I had that lesson, just with laptops. And we actually did a whole term paperless using OneNote, and kids absolutely loved it. It was a fantastic experience. Really good if you want to try something along those lines. So I'm going to create our very first assignment. Now I can create a quiz. Okay, I can create an assignment from an existing assignment. I'm going to create a new blank assignment. Alrighty, and we're going to call this assignment 1. Earth and space. Okay. Some instructions there, but I know we haven't got a lot of time. Add resources. This is important. So what are the students going to receive? Now you'll notice that I can attach something from our class notebook that we set up before. So for example, let's just say we had an assignment that we put in there, which we did. I can actually put something in there that maybe I have in my content library and distribute that as a OneNote page if we wanted to. So that's a really good way to do that. I could add a link. So I could put a link to a Microsoft form or a Google form. It can be a Google form if you will. All right. We can add a new file. So make a new file from scratch. We can add something from Microsoft MakeCode. So say if you're doing STEM or coding for the digital technology strand. We can add an assignment through Teams, but we want to show you, because we showed you how to use OneNote, we can show you how to upload a brand new assignment, okay? So here's the same one that we put in OneNote. Now, I'm not going to use my OneNote page solely because we showed you how to basically use OneNote. We could attach it there once it syncs across, but I've uploaded that Word document just here in the assignments section. Now I can click on that. It's going to show me what that assignment looks like, and I can have a quick look and go, okay, that looks fantastic. All right, I'm going to close that. Now, what are the marks? Let's just say I make this out of 10. And this is important. In New South Wales syllabus, we actually mark to a syllabus, an outcomes list, right? So we can add our own little rubric. And I've already made one here called Stage 3 Earth and Space Outcomes, okay? And these are the actual outcomes from the Earth and Space syllabus, all right? The Science and Technology K-6 syllabus, I should say. And I've just put some of the outcomes that relate directly to this assignment in this little table here. Now, It takes, look, 5-10 minutes to set up initially because I'm just copying and pasting the outcomes from the syllabus. But you can save these rubrics for future use. So you can see here I've got excellent, good, sound, and elementary. And these are the actual outcomes that are within the science and technology K-6 syllabus. Now I'm going to attach that right there as my rubric. You've got the due date, the due time, which students are receiving the assignment, all the customization that you expect when you're distributing an assignment. I'm going to assign that assignment, and it's due tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. because I'm so gracious. Okay. Now I've sent that assignment in to student 9068, and I can see that the student has not turned that in. So what we're going to get Jeff to do right now, he's going to quickly go and upload something to that, and he's going to show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. So you can see what it looks like when a student gets the assignment in Microsoft Teams and how they would add their own assignment. How can they check on the rubric? How can they check on the feedback and all that kind of great stuff? So are you ready, Mr. Charles? I'm going to throw it back over to you again. And,
I am, mate, and I've just shared my screen so we'll be able to see that. And so here as a little student comes on in, and you'll see down here is my my space where the assignment's popped up. Let me go and view that assignment. Let's have a look and see what Mr. Bowser's pushed through. Oh, there it is there. Okay, so the reference material that I have, normally I would click into that and start filling that out. However, I have done my own work. I've done my homework already. I'm pre-prepared. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and load this up from my device. And so if I can just go and grab out, oh, sorry to show you some of those things. Let's just come back and have my student content just here. And here it is, space introductions, and I'm assuming that was the right one. Let's hit open, and it'll now upload. Once that's ready to go, click done. Okay, I'm actually going to take this one off here. Oh, actually, no, I'll probably just leave it there. I probably should have added childs off the back of it, but that's okay. Now that's complete, I'm going to go and turn that in. Remembering
while
that.
you're there, Jeff,
yep.
Can you also just click on the rubric just
sure.
below? Yeah, just so they can see that the student can also access that rubric and see what they're getting marked against.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm actually looking at excellent for pretty much everything that I've put together. I will just say that now. Let's have a look and see, push that through now. So 10 points on this one. And of course, Immersive Reader is available, everything.
This next part, when you get to the animation, I want you to put a lot of emphasis. Oh,
look at that, the monkey. Hey.
That is great. It's a different animation every time. So
every time.
I get excited.
So I've put that in now, Mr. Bowser. That's good to go. I can undo that and come back and fix up certain things if I've forgotten things. But look, let's have a look and see what it looks like from your end.
Hang on. Do your immersive reader because I know I interrupted. I just got so excited about the animation.
Waiting for the turn in.
I've never seen that one before, and the kids get so excited.
No, look, the Immersive Reader is very good, and if you haven't seen that before, it'll take us through basically everything, and I can adjust the size of text, I can adjust the colours, the backgrounds, the style and the font. But with 3 minutes to go, let's just let's push on. Actually, quickly, I do want to show this. Options of grammar and highlighting all the different key things there, and of course we can change language too, which is good for our English as a second language students. Anyway, enough. There's too much content to push out there.
I know. So, I mean, like, think about it. It's got every form of accessibility that you would need under the sun, because let's face it, some students might not understand what the assignment means, so we could have it read aloud to them. Some students might need pictures to go with the words that we're putting in our assignment. We can turn them on. There's such a robust array of features. But now that Jeff's turned that in,
yep,
we're going to jump on over
I'm going to stop sharing.
What it looks like from a teacher's perspective. All right, cool. So here we are, back again, teacher point of view. And I hope this helps, seeing what it looks like from a student, seeing what it looks like from a teacher, seeing what it looks like from a student, seeing what it looks like from a teacher. I think that's...
And especially when you talk about, we're assessing, but also the feedback side of things. And this is a super important thing we need to harp on about. Where we assess our students, we want to be as clear as possible, and Microsoft Teams just enables that so much easier.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I can see here, 1 out of 1 students have turned in this assignment. Fantastic. So I could click on that, and I can see that student 9068 has turned in that lovely assignment right there. Now, I could add feedback right here, but I haven't seen the assignment, okay? I could add points, but I haven't seen the assignment, or marks, but I'm gonna click on this student's assignment, okay? And that's gonna bring up this lovely little viewer, all within Teams. You don't even have to leave Microsoft Teams. And I can see that, great. Jeffrey has done a fantastic assignment. Now, how do I grade Jeffrey? How do I let them know which outcomes Jeffrey has matched? We were talking about assigning that rubric just before. So I'm going to click on the rubric. And what I could do here is select the parts of the rubric that Jeff has matched. So, has in detail planned and conducted scientific investigations. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to give Jeff 4 points for that. And I'll go select a different outcome. Has Jeffrey displayed a strong capacity to plan use materials? Has displayed a sound capacity? I think a strong capacity to use materials. So there's 3 points. Okay. One more outcome. Has Jeffrey defined problems, designs, modifies, and follows algorithms? Not too many algorithms in there, Mr. Childs. So I'm going to give you a good on that one. Demonstrate strong evidence to logically define
hard marker
without reading it in detail. So you can see what it's done up the top here. It's given him an 8 out of 10. So it's automatically weighted the assignment based on what I've determined. Now, I gave each outcome a 33% chance. Weighting. So each one of these are weighted 33%. Okay. So that's really, really, really good there. Now I can give Jeff some feedback here and say, great assignment. Please improve. Please see feedback for improvement. All right. Terrible feedback right there, but in the interest of time, I'm going to send that through.
And Andrew, that's not going to go to everybody so that everybody can see. Is that right?
No, it's only going to go to you, and that's in relation to the feedback for the rubric. Now, the separate feedback for this particular assignment will go in here, and I could say made some additional comments on the rubric feedback. All right, loved your work. All right, so right there, made some additional comments and feedback. You have 8 out of 10. So, hey, look, in my books, that's an A. And I'm going to return that assignment to you. Now, that assignment's gone back to the student. The student gets notified that the teacher has returned that assignment. And again, just to reiterate, the biggest and most important thing that we strive for in our schools is accessibility. Now, when students go to do their assignment, they can do it right here in Teams, okay? They don't have to download anything. They don't have to change anything. They can just start typing in here within Teams. Or if they don't understand it, hit the immersive reader button, okay? And actually have it read it aloud to the students. Have it read aloud. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Change the font size, the color, change the grammar options, turn the nouns on and off, turn on the picture dictionary. So I'm going to turn on the nouns. Let's just say I click on planet. There's a picture so students understand what is going on. Earth. Okay, GIFs. All right, it is fantastic. And then you can translate that to any language within your class. Okay, so let's just say, for example, I had a Chinese-speaking student within my class. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to change the whole document right there so the Chinese student can understand what this assignment is all about. Amazing features all built into Microsoft Teams.
Now, Andrew, I was going to say that assignment's just come back and it looks like I've got some feedback. Should I quickly share my screen so you can see?
Absolutely, because I know we're definitely running out of time, but we plan to go over anyway. Let's face it. So if you can stick around for another 5-10 minutes, absolutely do so.
Okay, so there we go. Hopefully you can see my my assignment page, and that's just sitting in here. I've just come in and had a quick look. Assignments. There we go, and you'll notice here, hey, nothing left to turn in. That's because they sit in completed. And so I'm going to go into completed now. And here's my assignment that I submitted earlier. Mr. Balzer has added some additional comments, which is great. So let's just zoom in on that. Made some comments in the rubric feedback for you, but love your work. 8 out of 10. That seems like
click on that rubric. Here we go.
And here we go. Fantastic. I can actually see where the weighting's been applied and how it's added up. Okay, 3 components, obviously 33.33 and beyond. And so we can see how those are added up. And there's the feedback. Great assignment. And please see feedback for improvement. Please see rubric for improvement.
Endless loop.
I love what you've done.
So, yeah, absolutely. Isn't it great? Okay. And some people might say, "Oh, they won't know what's under the completed." So look, it sends emails. If you go to the post there, just the general post in the chit chat, that's it. It sends emails. It puts notifications up right there. Assignment 1, Earth and Space, view assignment. It basically notifies the students in like 6 different ways. So it's very, very hard to miss. There you go. Jeff is bringing up the feed. It's pinging them. It's not only sending emails to the DE account, it's also sending notifications on Teams. It's also putting in the chat. It's pretty much everywhere that you can find, but really easy to do. And we want to make sure that it's a real focus point, that students are going through their portal and teachers are going through the portal. So we think it's really powerful to start actually, reaching out and exploring some of the use cases of Microsoft Teams and some of the assignment features that we have in Microsoft Teams, because look, you may be using Google Classroom, absolutely fine, but we're all about providing more accessibility, okay? Providing options. I use Google Classroom, I use Microsoft Teams. I use them both depending on, what setting I'm actually teaching in, okay? So again, your two options here. OneNote Class Notebook, fantastic way to distribute work. Maybe you're attaching files. Maybe you're looking at all the pictures that the students are making. The students could use this as a workbook, and you could be setting up collaboration spaces. You could be setting up different work files and putting videos and links and kind of keeping like a running diary of what's happening within the class lesson. And then from all that content, you could jump over to the assignments tab and you could create a brand new assignment, okay, and send that to all the students in your class, okay? So I can see here are my assignments that I've sent out to my lovely student. And just to flick through the student work, you just type in a name, okay, on the top right-hand here, and just select a different student. It's gonna bring up all of their work in one central hub. It is fantastic. No more downloading, no more re-uploading, no more attaching rubrics as separate files. It is all in one space. It's so easy to use. So just to recap again, from the portal, okay, to find this, it is on My Learning Tools, okay, and then use the Microsoft Office 365 right there. For a student portal, it's right there in front of their faces, this button, Office 365. Alternatively, if you want to go to teams.microsoft.com, it will take you there as well, same place, just using a web browser. I recommend that you use the student portal and the staff portal because it's easy to navigate. The students know that, and it stops them from, opening up a browser itself. But it is a great way to get around using Microsoft OneNote and Microsoft Teams assignment features. Okay, we are unfortunately out of time. We're having too much fun. So where do you get more help? Where do you get more training? Okay, we've actually got a lovely little support site right here that we'll put into the chat. We've got a great link if you want to kind of expand your knowledge on Microsoft Teams using OneNote and Class Notebook, the assignments feature and the communication features, aka.ms Microsoft Remote Learning. That's a great way to get started. You don't have to be learning remotely. Just has a great overview there. And we've got remote teaching and learning of Office 365, Microsoft Team Teacher Guides. That is a fantastic one, aka.ms/Teams Teacher Guides, and online courses for teachers. So I'm going to quickly chuck that into the chat right now so we don't forget. Copy them, write them down, do what you will. There's the teacher guides. There's some stuff on remote learning, just in case you would like to look at how you can use Teams to collaborate with your students in and outside the classroom, especially for setting homework and assignments, okay? And there's education@microsoft.com, and we'll share the Remote Learning 365 in case you want to use PowerPoint or any other great Office 365 applications that we have there as well. Okay, last one. We have Learning on Demand, so there's some PL courses here that you can definitely reach out to as well. Lots of NESA registered courses, especially on Teams, Office 365. There's OneNote courses on there if you want to kind of dive deeper into OneNote and explore a bit more on OneNote, something a bit longer than half an hour. Put a link into the chat there for you as well. If you have any questions, Jeff, can you type this one into the chat? It's online teaching and learning at dt.nsw.edu.au. So let's just say you go, hey, loved your presentation. Can you come out to my school and help me set up a Microsoft Teams for my class, maybe teach the class and how to access their assignments? Yeah, let's do some elbow to elbow work. Let's do it over VC. Always happy to work with you in OneNote Teams or any other Office 365 that we can help you save time. But other than that, that's it. Thank you very much for coming. I think we did good, 4:08. It's been a pleasure sharing. I know it's been really quick It has been recorded. We don't have a lot of time. But that is a good introduction to kind of show you, A, how to get to Microsoft Teams, how to set up a OneNote within Teams, how to access that OneNote in Teams, how to add work and distribute work to your students, and how to send assignments in Microsoft Teams. And you got a bonus round of looking what it looks like from a student perspective, how the students access it, how they view it, and what it looks like from a teacher's perspective. Is there anything else that you'd like to add there, Mr. Childs?
No, mate, all good. I think we've covered it so quickly. So hopefully that's given you some insight into how best to assess with Microsoft, both OneNote and Teams. And so, stay tuned. Another 2 weeks, we'll be back on doing some more webinars, covering some STEM stuff, I think. Isn't that right, mate?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's you gotta imagine, like, Teams and assessment and feedback is a platform. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you're teaching. Could be any KLA, could be STEM, could be mathematics, could be English literacy. It does not matter. It's a platform. It's a blank canvas. You construct your entire class, no matter what that may be, in that platform. You manage that as one central hub. Look, if you're secondary, a lot of students will have Teams on their phones. A lot of students will be working on the go. They'll be moving, they'll be transgressing during their daily lives in their part-time jobs. If you're in the primary sector, you might want to use Microsoft Teams in a very basic and delicate way for just distributing work. You might not engage in the whole conversation chat. You might use Google Classroom. The point is that you have options and you have people to support you in those options. So we thank you for coming with us today. As for the recording, Jeff, do you just want to put that link just in there? If you want to go back and see what we did at a slower pace, maybe you want to play it step by step, you can do that right now by down at the bottom of your browser using the time bar to go back in time. Or you can actually use this link that Jeff's going to post in the chat. That's where the recording is going to live for this quick session. So you can go back, pause it, copy what we did, set it up step by step, and really tailor the experience for your own speed, which I think is magical. The wonders of online teaching and learning. So we'd like to say thank you for being with us. It's been a pleasure. It's been a very sharp, quick, and very efficient, I would say, introduction to try and get you inspired to use Microsoft Teams and OneNote for assessment and feedback. Zandra Bowser and Jeffrey Charles saying thank you very much, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.